Dr. Singh and the other esteemed guests here, faculty members, staff members, students, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great moment of privilege for me to be here in the inaugural session of the relaunch of the Entrepreneurship Cell. In the past, we had some Entrepreneurship Cell activities, but they were more informal. Last year, we were also lucky to have one idea of the student getting implemented by himself. And I was happy to note that that was a very prospective idea. And I am sure in the next couple of years he would be able to take that idea forward. He passed out from this institute this year, this March. But formally, we did not launch an entrepreneurship cell in the past because we have been waiting for a threshold level of energy to come in the institute to launch such an activity. Launching something anybody can do, but the most important, the entrepreneurs who are sitting here will clearly vouch for that. But the most important thing is to sustain it. So we knew that just for the visibility or for the heck of it, we can launch an entrepreneurship cell or any other cell at any point of time. But then we did not want that to happen and then it goes dormant. But I am very happy to emphasize that now we have a group of highly energized faculty members who have been running the last few weeks around to make things happen quickly and go forward rapidly. And they have been able to also organize the students to be behind them, behind the entrepreneurship cell, and take it forward in a very, very significant way. It's also a very happy thing to note that in the incoming batch, first year students, among the first year students, there are a few who already have family businesses behind them, and at least some of them have expressed interest in going back to their family businesses and strengthen them on the basis of the learning they will have in the program. And I am also happy that a large number of the students in the second year as well as first year are aspiring to be entrepreneurs at some point of time in their lives. Entrepreneurship is the process of identifying opportunities and then taking it forward through investment to yield returns. Entrepreneurship involves a lot of risk because when we take up an idea for a business, one doesn't know whether it's going to be successful or not. It takes a long time for a business to be taken from the initial rudimentary stage to at least the break-even stage and then take it forward to get returns so much to compensate for all the investments, sunk costs involved in the business in the past. And we all know a large number of businesses have gone bust, not only in India, all around the world, at various stages of their lives. Some could be in the early stages, some could be in the later stages. And all those successful entrepreneurs have really sacrificed a lot of their time, their energy, their mental peace to make the ventures successful. And from that point of view, it is the right moment for all of us to remember the sacrifices of a large number of the entrepreneurs who make our lives comfortable through their products and services. We also know nearly half of the workers in USA have at some point of time have been entrepreneurs. I don't know how many of you are aware. Half of the workers in USA have been entrepreneurs, or they toyed with some business activity at some point of time. As compared to that, in India, entrepreneurial activities are the activities are concentrated in a very small number of people or small number of communities. A large number of Indians are not very comfortable with having own venture. We are more comfortable with working in somebody else's enterprise. I was fascinated by entrepreneurship right from my childhood. I will just share with you some lighter moments from my early childhood. I lived in a very remote rural area in some part of Kerala. In general, that part of Kerala was a little backward as compared to other states. This I am talking about 45 years ago. 45 years ago, I was in just primary school, primary classes. Our village was continuously flooded, constantly flooded by some nearby river. The river was actually flowing to three parts of the village, and village was a kind of peninsula. In the rainy season, which is plenty in Kerala, almost 6 months there will be rains, and out of which 3-4 months will be flooding the village. And when the flood comes, because the water comes from three sides of the village will be very deeply inundated. And every season, at least there will be 3 floods which will drive all of the villages away from the village area, because our houses will be underwater and we have to go to some other place, to some relatives also. So when these things were happening, I noticed a small business opportunity. What was the business opportunity? So long as the water was not coming inside the house, everybody would be in their houses. They will be just looking outside to the water levels are rising, and just heaving a sigh of relief when the water doesn't come in. That is the only work they are doing. Otherwise, for days, at least one flood will go down only after 3, 4, 5 days. And this happens frequently. They have no other job. Just sit near the door and look at the water, and just in case some snakes are coming inside, just send them away. This is the only work. And people were getting thoroughly bored. And then I discovered a business opportunity that they would be needing some pastime. And the usual pastime, priority number 1, is this. So what I started doing was that I started storing some sweetmeats and peanuts and like that just a few days before the rain, the water level start rising in the river. And when the water levels come higher and the village is inundated, village is covered in the water, I will wade through the water with all my sweetmeats and peanuts, and I will sell to my neighbors. And I was a very big assurer, profiteer. I am not going to sell them at a cheap rate, not like the today's merchandisers. I will sell them at a heavy cost. And most often, by selling half of my items, I will recover my full cost. So it's a double, 50% profit, 100% profit. And this profit, what do I do? When half of the items are sold, I recovered my cost, full cost. And half of the item I will go back to my residence and my brother and I will eat. This is what our business model, and like that with the capital, we will run throughout the rainy season, and every year it used to be repeated. Of course, subsequently I also expanded my business to cover the vacation period. So vacation period I will do other businesses. I was just in the primary school, imagine. I will do in the vacation period other businesses and raise enough funds for my all books and materials. So at the end of the vacation period, I will give my profit to my mother and say that this is for my books. And the capital I will put in my pocket for the next season to come. So it was a very interesting experience. I did many such things in the childhood. When I look back, I was thinking that if I was not an academician, probably I would have made a good entrepreneur, giving competition to some of them. So it's very interesting to remember those. We have a time constraint. I wish all the best for the entrepreneurial activities of the institute. I am sure in the next few years we will be taking this entrepreneurship cell to a great level. We have our vision is to make every student coming out of this institute an entrepreneur. In the beginning we may start with a few, but I am sure over a period of time the entrepreneurship cell with their enthusiasm and continuity will be able to achieve this. So I once again wish you all the best. I again on behalf of the entrepreneurship cell extend a warm welcome to all the dignitaries. Thank you very much.